Yeah, this is Margaret Ann Windsor, and obviously I'm sitting here. I've got the backache so bad and inflammation stuff. But the point is, it's cold, and I'm still. Hope you don't mind. I'm dressed in a gown and all that. Um, I'm listening to Fox News, and it's well now his father was on 60 Minutes. He is too. My point when all this I was trying to get told about the mind control murders, about the rape of patients, and that's rape by Gonzalez in Atlanta, and trying to get a book published uh, about cases of medical malpractice. MD licensed to kill. Living at Moonraker, Larry Flynn of Hustler magazine was shot in Lawrenceville, Georgia, and this fit into patterns using mind control, which is hard to prove. They teach you the Morse code at a low level, and you're programmed. You don't even know it. But this was back when the ham set uh, came to be, and I was shown that part. I didn't know how it was being done, other that murders were being done in patterns and chipping, like root canals. Now I'm going to get away from that because they try to. Anyway, this is Mike Wallace's son. What's his name? He's on Fox, which at least tells a little bit more of the truth. You're talking about crimes. Your press is the one committing the crimes that's controlled by the Illuminati, who kidnapped me, took down my father. He never married Wallace Simpson. She married a double. She is an American spy. And my father was married to Claudia Ruth O'Keefe Windsor from Madison, Wisconsin. My mom, she was Queen of England. The Church of England didn't like the fact he married my mom. She was a school teacher. And she probably wasn't with the Church of England. I don't know if she's Catholic. I don't think so. But George O'Keefe's my aunt. So anyway, they took down my father. They've continued the lies. They kidnapped me when I was 2 years old because my father made arrangements that since he was forced out with character assassination and God knows what else, that they've lied about him. He was a good man. That's the reason he was taken out. He wouldn't follow their orders. He married the lady, the woman he loved, and look at him. They've made him marrying a slut, an American spy, and a double. And they're buried. What a joke, sick joke this is. Buried at Windsor Frogmore with the royal family. The royal family sits here talking to you. That's who I am, Victoria II, the minute I was born. Now, I was brought to Moulton, Alabama, Route 4, at a pigsty, but JFK personally was in on this one. His father was appointed ambassador by Roosevelt, another Jew, your president, FDR, for the sole purpose of getting rid of my father. He wouldn't follow their orders. Thus, they took him down and put in Elizabeth's father, illegal George the Sixth, and thus the Illuminati. They went in and put underground military all over the UK and then all over the Netherlands, Denmark. Sorry about this. I can't make tapes like other people do. Hope you'll excuse it. So, in other words, they were capturing the royal family, the UK. The whole point was taking down the British Empire, South Africa, and forming the United Nations, making it real. And that's where it's at up there now at Rockefeller, who controls the media here that's telling you all this bull crap and lies from day one. Obviously, they didn't mention this about my father, and certainly not me and all the crimes. And then over and over, my husband and I tried to get 60 Minutes. I think, I'm pretty sure I did even send the book to him, which did no good. I had a letter from the FBI, too. MD, a license to kill, but it was I had two letters from the FBI. One, the U.S. attorney came back, William Harper, and said that the FBI it's like the police turned something over to the district attorney for prosecuting, and they're saying that it's an ongoing investigation, national security involved. Well, they get in April Fool Day. They tried to kill me again. And it was all, I mean, seriously, I'm not going to go into it again. It was such hell, and I should have gone into a coma right then and died. Instead, it's gone on and on. Now I want to get up here. I never knew that the things I was writing about was part of the Tesla files that were stolen. It was mentioned there that you can cure an illness or create it, and I didn't know that Trump's uncle, who was professor at MIT, had anything to do with the Tesla files. History tells you, I've Googled it, and history tells you that the Illuminati, well, that's just common sense if you read what I'm telling, that the Illuminati had all these files. Wow, and I could go on, I better. Anyway, President Trump's uncle was supposed to have them. The FBI were supposed to have them. And I so like President Trump, and I hope he's a good guy. I hope he is no part of the Illuminati, and I'm going to leave it there. I like him. I think he's withstood. I think he's trying to do the better. And please don't tell me I'm wrong. I hope not. Anyway, I'm listening to this. I've told about mind control murders done in patterns. And it's like sending messages, instant messages, really, in part. But there is murders, and I'm almost afraid to say too much, but I'm responding to what I just saw on Fox News and all this. And let me get to this. It has to do with the Governor Northam, who was a pediatrician. Well, he still is, but he's the governor of Virginia now. Okay. Now then, there came this thing about he was supposed to be, when he was in college here at Lexington, I believe, medical, he was supposed to have engaged in wearing some kind of blackening or something, and is supposed to be a Klansman or something, somebody dressed like that. Anyway, I look back at what's happened to me, and yes, Martin Luther King, your great Martin Luther King, was in with President Kennedy in this mind control bit, which is the opposite of civil rights. It's the worst kind of infraction you can do to a person. It's without their knowledge or consent. Yes, he did get in on it. Yes, he did know who I am. He partnered with the global government, the Illuminati. And so did Reverend Andrew Young, who was with him when he was shot by a program shooter. There was programming and mind control done in that whole scenario. Now, I was during this period of time where I've written the book about mind control murders. Larry Flint was shot. It was done in patterns in Lawrenceville nearby, while I was doing the book in '78 at Moonraker. Now then, I'm going to skip to this and try to get back to the Fairfax. When I say they're done in patterns, they were. They're like Scott Peterson's going to be put to death out there if somebody doesn't tell this whole thing. Now, if I can keep my train of thought and back and forth here, maybe. Let me get a grasp on it. I'm watching, no, I've gotten away from it now. Let me see if I can get back on track here. I got to go in 2 or 3 different directions. Okay, let me just get back to this. Okay, I was flown out to Larry Flint's in '83 October. He supported me in my campaign to replace one of the doctors, which was a main figure, one of the main figures in my book, that was unpublished. Obviously, it was even stolen out of the bank vault. That was Jimmy Carter's best friend, Burt Lance, who was also under investigation when Carter was president, and I thought Jimmy Carter was the good guy. Anyway, he may not, well, yeah, he does too. My book was just taken out with the letters from the FBI and for good keeping. I never heard anything about it since. Good keeping? So let me get back. So you see where I'm going. I'm trying to get up all this up on 19-minute tape. Reverend Andrew Young was with Martin Luther King. He was in Atlanta when they did that to me on April Fool Day of 80. He knows all about it. He became mayor right after then. He was appointed by Jimmy Carter, then president, to the UN ambassador to South Africa. So then, if you look back at what went on with South Africa and who was the president, I can't remember his name now, that was made out to be such a hero. Okay, now then, if I say much, South Africa will think I'm against them. No, I'm not. I'm the one who was not prejudiced. I'm still not. But I found out when you kicked me out on the street and all these people I'm finding got involved in the hell I went through and knew about it, they still aren't telling it. And the blacks that I so cared about, actually, you have to get out there and find out. I did. I got an education you won't get. And I wish I hadn't, really. So it's not the rosy, oh, the blacks won't get you. Believe me, they'll get you. Oh, I've been there, done that. Yeah, they will. They are guilty of hate crimes themselves, and you're going to say, well, they have a reason. Well, how long, and do I have a reason for what I would like justice to be done? So think about it. Now, up here, I'm listening to this segment today, and you got Mike Wallace's son. I'm sorry, I can't think of his name. He's on Fox. They're interviewing this black woman. She said black man in reference to Fairfax, the lieutenant governor. And I thought, are you sure you want to say that now? Don't you want to say African American? Because if I say black man, then I'd be accused of a hate crime. Hate crimes, my dear, all of it's what you did to me. My children, my country, so gross that you do not want one peep of it told. But I'm going to tell you this, whether it ever comes out, that's staged, whether it's perpetrated. I don't think now they know about it, how it's been set up. Fairfax, Virginia is where a murder took place. It's not where it took place, it's where it was tried. Jesse Matthews is a black man. And it's a mind control murder. He's innocent. He's in prison for life. Everyone here knows it is part of what I've been telling. And there was a girl here who was killed by him, that this can be proven. You can put it on paper and follow what I've been saying and follow this, and it can be proven. And there was a English girl. She's from England. Her parents moved over here. And she was killed in a horrible way too, just like the other one that he killed, the girl. And I'm telling all this to help everybody, because mind control has affected everybody, not just the next girl, not just the next boy, like Parkland, the students there, that the program shooter. How do you think all these massive program shootings and running 18-wheelers and running people down, they can program armies? So let me get back to this if I can and try to get it up here before it goes off. You can prove this one beyond with just a little bit up in Fairfax that took place. Virginia. There's a lot more surrounding Fairfax too. But I'm going to go back to the name game, because I've been in on this for a long, long time, and I know what I'm saying. Whether they have been programmed somehow, I don't know. I thought it was staged, and they knew, to tell you the truth. Okay, you got Northam in the pictures in the annual. Supposedly he was in one of the pictures and he had blackened his face. Okay, and he's standing next to somebody in white who was said to be a Klansman, or dressed like one, okay, in medical school next door here in Lexington. And I'm going back to something else in Lexington now that makes sense. Now that I'm saying this, I'm not going to try to put it up because this is going off in a minute. So now then, a week or so ago, this comes about Northam. He's asked to resign. Now, this is a couple of pictures, And by the way, if you want to compare pain and suffering and hate crimes, you better watch it in case my story is ever told, and my children, in my country, and it affects a lot of you, and a lot were black, like Wayne Williams, murders down there, oh God, Brian Nichols down there in Atlanta, O.J. Simpson. Why haven't you spoken out? Because you darn well know it. The NAACP, civil rights bull. Okay, now then, let's get back to what just happened. Northam, the governor's taken down, just like I said, or they're wanting him down. Now then, you got suddenly, then the lieutenant governor is a black man. And since she said black man, this black woman on Fox, can I say it? You can't even give me my name back. You've called me every dirty slang in the book. You gave me another name. You have committed crimes that are unspeakable to my children and me, in plain sight. All these years, I'm 80 years old, so don't tell me about prejudice and hate crimes, because I was for everybody's freedom, and look what they've done to me. Now then, Fairfax, well, I only got a couple of minutes left. Fairfax is a name associated with Fairfax, Virginia, and Jesse Matthews, and these two murders of the two young girls that I cared about, but who cares for me in all this? Members of my country do. Some people here in America do, obviously, but the whole 99% just, okay, wishes a dog go away. Now then Mark Herring, he's the state's attorney, Virginia, steps in and he says, well, he did something about wore something and it during school, and now they want him to resign. This woman I'm just talking about, this black woman, was on Fox. They interviewed her, and she's comparing two women being raped. And here's where you're going to go after me again. You don't want to if my story's ever told, because it is so sick and vile and about my children. Believe me, and the blacks were in on it too. Every step of the way. Your great Martin Luther King, your great Coretta Scott King, right there in Atlanta, knew all about me. I went into her office, and yes, they knew about chipping. I put all that up, so let me get back to this, and I'm going to get off of here. I hope for today, maybe. I don't want somebody to knock on my door and handcuff me. It's easy to do, believe me. Anyway, the Fairfax is associated with the two murders there that were prosecuted against a black man, Jesse Matthews. Hopefully, this will be told. All of it. Now then, Mark Herring, Mark's the name of my son, one of them. So, they want him to resign. But theirs were pictures, and when you compare what's been done to me personally and mine, it is the sickest thing you've ever heard of, right here. Part of it went on here in Virginia. This is a commonwealth. I have to believe that probably that's why I've been kept here, that some of the people in law enforcement, the Virginia state troopers, some of them were on my side and keeping me alive, in the FBI, part of them anyway, a segment. So now then, this woman, black woman, is comparing the two rape victims that came up, or they call it sexual assault, against the black man Fairfax, who was going to become governor because it gets into a conundrum, and it's going off. Anyway, this one was staged, and at this point, I don't think it was. So you better wonder what all this is about. The shutdown of some of the banking with Wells Fargo, and